What did Jesus believe? What did he teach? Because it's not really clear, okay? I'm sure Jesus did not preach, did not teach. Believe in me and you'll be saved, okay? He probably did not do that. Christians tell you that, but Jesus himself probably did not teach that, okay? That's the first thing. Second question is, why did he become so popular? What was it about his belief that made him popular? And the third thing is, why did the Romans kill him? Right, so these are the three big questions we're looking at today. First of all, what did Jesus really believe? Second is, why was he so popular? And the third question is, why did the Romans have to kill him? And so the argument I want to make you today is, what Jesus taught is what every poet, prophet we studied this semester taught as well. Okay, so you look at Homer, you look at the Yahwehs, you look at Zoroastrianism, Plato. What do they all teach? They all teach that there is a source, okay? The source is the divine, the good, God, the universe, the monad, whatever name you have for it, okay? And the source emanates and it creates the entire universe. And we come from the source. Now, our bodies are material, okay? So our bodies come from a process of evolution. But our consciousness, our soul, is the divine spark. And it comes from the source. So after our experience here on earth, after we die, our spark goes back to the source, okay? And there's a constant cycle until we, at the end, merge with the source, okay? This is what Buddhism teaches. This is what Hinduism teaches. This is what Zoroastrianism. This is what all major religions teach, okay? So Jesus was just teaching it for his times. So the question then is, if he is teaching what every person, every poet, prophet taught, why is he special? He's special because the Roman Empire was particularly evil. They're demonic. And so you don't forgive yourself, right? And so the question then is, how do you explain the fact that the Romans are able to conquer the world through pure evil, and you, a person, did all good, but you're a slave? How do you explain that? How do you find comfort? How do you find solace in the fact that you've done good in your life, but at the same time, evil triumphs, okay? And the message that Jesus came is to help people understand why the Romans triumph. And what Jesus will say is this: the Romans triumph because the world that we live in is a false world. It is a corpse. It's a dead world. This is not the true world. So those who most embrace death and evil and hatred will win in this world. But this is the false world. What matters is up there. And so what you need to understand is this: the Romans have won by being evil. So in the grand scheme of things, they've lost. So think about Achilles. How did Achilles get what he wanted? He betrayed Patroclus, right? He sacrificed Patroclus. But because he knows he did evil, he can't sleep. He can't eat. He cannot rest. All he can do is mutilate Hector's body. And that's just the Roman way. What Jesus is telling us this: I know the world is evil. I know that the rich, the powerful, oppress us and we hate them. But use our imagination, use our heart, use our empathy, and look into their minds. And you can see how tormented they are. How every day they live with demons that haunt them. How they can't sleep. How they hate themselves and how they hate the world around them. And then when you see that for yourself, what you will see is they're more pitiful than you are. You may be poor, but at least you're not haunted by demons, okay? And so if you really want to do good in the world, you have to forgive your enemy. You have to love your enemy. Because only by loving your enemy can you release your enemy from his demons. And that will save the world. Okay, so what Jesus is telling us is this: the enemies, the people who oppress us, the rich, the powerful, they are Achilles. Okay, they are Achilles after they've killed Hector. And they have absolutely no purpose in life. They're haunted by demons. And we have to be Priam. We have to kiss Achilles' hand. Submit before him so that he can be released from his demons. And this will make the world a better place. Okay? That is the message of Jesus. And that is our mission in this world. In a time of evil, in a place of evil, to look into our hearts, to look in the hearts of other people, to forgive our enemies, to let go of our hatred, and to forgive our enemies. And then that will save the world. That is the central message of Jesus. All right. Any questions before we look at the evidence? Okay. So I present to you the argument. Okay. The argument is this: Jesus taught a message of love and forgiveness, and that's what made him popular, because it reminds people of who they are, right? You may be a slave, you may think you're worthless, but Jesus is telling you there's still a spark inside of you that connects you to the monad. And as long as you use love, forgiveness, compassion, this spark will activate and it will release you from your slavery. Okay? This is a false world. Once that spark is activated, you will see the world as false, and that will free you, okay? And why did the Romans kill him? The Romans killed him because Jesus was a rebel. He was trying to subvert the natural order. The natural order is the Romans at the top, the slaves at the very bottom. And Jesus is like, no, it's the opposite. Slaves at the top, Romans at the bottom, okay? Because the Romans are trapped and cursed by the evil in their hearts, whereas the slaves are free. And they can liberate everyone through their compassion, through their love, through their forgiveness. Okay? And that's why the Romans saw him as a threat. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, and that's why they had to kill him. All right, and then they made up the Bible in order to justify what they did. Okay? Because as we discussed in the last class, that's what Romans do, okay? They do evil, and then they get the Greeks or the Jews to write the history to explain why it was good, okay? And I know this is hard to understand. This story, guys, it was the Romans who wrote this story, okay? Because as you can see, this story conveniently excused the Romans from all blame, even though it's the Romans who killed Jesus, and it puts all the blame on Jews. Okay? That's the intention of the Bible. So Christianity is not an invention of Jesus. Christianity is an invention of the Romans. Okay? All right, so the divine spark of Jesus. Okay, so the idea here is this. If you read Homer, the Iliad, the Odyssey, if you read Dante, the Divine Comedy, if you read any of the great books, you will see the divine spark reflected in you, okay? These great books are a portal into the divine. The problem, though, is most people cannot read the Iliad or the Divine Comedy, okay? So the question then is, what do the common people do? And the answer is, Jesus is a portal into the divine, right? So if you just remember the life of Jesus, if you just recite his sayings, that will give you access to the divine. That will remind you of who you are. So yes, Homer and Dante are great. I love Homer and Dante, but you have to be very educated in order to read Homer and Dante well. Whereas Jesus, anyone can know the story of Jesus. Anyone can say what he says, and then that will give you access to the divine, okay? So Jesus is really about the democratization of the divine, okay? Jesus allows anyone to access the divine, whereas before, you had to access the divine through poetry, okay?